from Japan. Hi. Beside me, here's an interpreter, Mr. Sukine. Maybe I need help with the interpreter sitting, okay? I am ready to help me. I speak Japanese and here interpreting for me. Okay. 日本ではですね、鳩山首相が 25% の二酸化炭素削減というのを国連で発表いたしましたが、その信頼性については柴さんなどはどうお考えでしょうか。
Prime Minister Hatoyama of Japan, as you all know, recently announced that to cut the amount of the carbon dioxide by 25%. What I'd like to ask the panelists: Do you think that's feasible or realistic?
And more, I have two questions more. Okay. Okay. One by one.
Okay. The first question: the Prime Minister of Japan, the government of Japan, has called for a cut of 25%. Is this feasible?
Yes, thank you for the question. I feel that what your country and government is doing or is going to do is not enough to save the small countries like that.
That second question.
Second question. 昨年の8月に日本は、政府が変わりました。自民党から民主党という政府に変わったんですけれども、日本の今抱えている問題は、失業、若者に対しての仕事がなかなかない、また経済が大変良くないということで、政府が変わっても経済をやっぱり回復しなければいけないというのが第一の目標になっておりますが、この日本の取り組みについてはどのようにお考えでしょうか。
Last August in Japan, we had a regime change. We have a new government.
Louder, please.
Just speak closely to it.
Okay, all right. Last August in Japan, we had a new regime come in. We have a new government, and the top priority right now is how to get out of this slugging economy and find employment for younger people. And what do you think about all these issues in our framework?
So the problem is that the new government is saying its first priority is dealing with a sluggish economy and unemployment. I guess that means not climate change. What do you think of that?
I guess what he's trying to say is how can we approach these climate issues when we have other things to worry about?
Yes. How do we approach the climate issue in countries like Japan when they are worrying about other things, like the economy?
Well, let me first of all say that there is a tremendous amount of debate that's going on now with regard to the change from where we are now to renewable energy. And renewable energy, if they do change industries to manufacture the technologies that is right for us to be clean, a lot of jobs can also be created and can replace what is now going to be lost. Thank you.
Yes.
I think the first thing is that for anyone who thinks there is economy without nature, didn't get it right. Because nature is the first economy. That's where we get our recycling of air, that's where we get our water, that's where we get our food from. Second, jobs too are dependent on how robust is nature's economy. And finally, what is now called the economy, which is speculating and playing casino in Wall Street, we have seen how that has fallen apart and is being held up only with massive bailouts. We cannot afford to have scarce public funds given to corrupt bankers. What we really need to do is spend the scarce money to rebuild the real bank, which is our bank in nature.
Even the economists thinking ahead recognise this. Sir Nicholas Stern, formerly chief economist of the World Bank, has told the British government that if we do not deploy 1%, now 2% of our gross global product to tackle climate change, it will cost our grandchildren 6 to 20% of their gross product. It is a moral question as to whether, even using economic terms, we simply put it off to the next lot because we won't use 1 to 2% of our economic wealth now to tackle climate change. Who's next?
Thank you.
Please stand up if you have the microphone and just go right ahead.
Is based upon sciences that originated, simply say, Europe or Western world, you know. So, solutions, let's say mitigation options, the adaptation techniques we are talking, are all a part of the same system that is the cause of the problem, you know. Is the system which caused the problem, is the system that we are also trying to, you know, build solutions from. So, Dr. Shiva, do you advocate and stand for a shift of paradigm, shift of system, you know, to change the world, let's say in general terms, change the world? And do you recognize localized paradigms, localized systems, instead of having one global system ruling everything? And my question to the Prime Minister from Tuvalu is, as a country or even as a person, individual, do you advocate and stand for the shift of paradigms? Are you trying to build a pressure against the European system or the Western system that has caused this problem in everywhere? Or are you just trying to look for a solution within that system?
Thank you.
So very quickly, yes, it's true, this whole anthropocentric worldview, and within the human-centered worldview, a worldview centered on those who control money and power, is something that is very Eurocentric, emerged through the Industrial Revolution, the rise of capitalism. And it is part of the problem. Solutions within it will just make the problem worse. We do need a paradigm shift. That's why I talk of Earth democracy, and that's why I celebrate the initiative of looking at the rights of Mother Earth. Now, the rights of Mother Earth has been the basis of all ancient sustainable societies. I'm sure if you go to the small island nations, the first principles are derived from the rights of Mother Earth. Up in the Himalayan villages, the first principles are rights of Mother Earth. In the rainforest, the rights of Mother Earth. And I think we should use the declaration that has come out of Cochabamba in Bolivia to reinforce those other worldviews and other paradigms. Articulate them and really make this into a major 2-year referendum leading up to the Earth Summit celebration of 2 decades. That the majority of people of the world think of the Earth as a living mother which has to be protected. The solutions also will come out of this. I mean, a lot of our work is adaptation. Now, you can't go into a lab and figure out adaptation. In the desert, you've got to go to the older people and say, how do you survive a failure of rainfall? And they'll tell you 10 things. Change the cropping pattern, do water harvesting in this way. And I think preventing the disappearance of that indigenous knowledge is the most important thing. So what we do, I run a school for sustainability. We call it the Bij Vidyapeeth, the Earth University. And one course we religiously do every year is called the Grandmother's University. Just learning from the elders.
This is a global issue, and it's also a global problem.